Hi viewers, this is your host Teacher Alpha. This is the first video in the subject of biology, and in today's discussion we'll be looking at prefixes and suffixes. I'm pretty sure you must have come across such words before, and perhaps some of you know, others might not know. But just to give you a brief intro of what they are, we are simply saying that prefixes come at the beginning of the main word, which we're calling the base verb or the base word, while suffixes come at the end. And these prefixes and suffixes, just by attaching them to the main word, change the whole meaning of the entire word. And that's why these will help us to understand biology more effectively as students. Whether you're a nursing student, whether you're a high school student, this also applies to you. Okay, without further ado, let's look at some of them on the board. So on my left, I have a table of prefixes and their meanings. On my right, I have a table of suffixes and their meanings. Okay, let's look at the first prefixes. So in biology, a or an may mean absent or without. A or an means absent or without. So absent or without. An example in biology is respiration. Remember, there are two types of tissue respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. So an means absent. Aero is also a prefix in biology, which means air or oxygen in this context. So anaerobic. So an means absent or without, while aero means air, or most importantly oxygen, because that's the element that living organisms need to carry out aerobic respiration. So aero means air, while an means absent or without. So when we say anaerobic respiration, we mean a type of cellular or tissue respiration which happens in the absence of oxygen or without oxygen. That's what we mean when we say anaerobic. Now, let's look at another word. How about for the letter A? We have A and we've got vascular. So vascular is the main word. So vascular just means vessel, or generally it means vessel. Sometimes others may call it blood vessel, which is fine. Then while A means without or absent. So there are certain regions, for example, there are certain regions in body organs where there are blood vessels, and there are certain regions where blood vessels are absent. So those regions where blood vessels are absent in body organs or tissues, we say avascular. Avascular. While vascular means blood vessel or vessel. All right. So A or an means absent or without. Now, what does ana mean? Ana in biology means build up. Build, build up. It also means formation. Remember when you were learning the types of metabolism, you learned to say that there are two types of metabolism: anabolism and catabolism. So anabolism is a type of metabolism which involves forming complex things, big things from small things. That's what anabolism means. And an example of an anabolic reaction is photosynthesis. Okay, how about kata? What does kata mean? Kata means break down. Break down. You're breaking big things into small things in simple terms. While ana means you're getting small things, building up into big things. For instance, when we get excess glucose from a bloodstream, okay, we form a complex sugar or a polysaccharide called glycogen. So excess sugars are converted by your liver into a storage form called glycogen. So that is an example of a building up process that is happening in your liver, carried out by your liver cells. Okay, so ana means build up or formation. There are many examples of formation. Spermatogenesis is an example of an anabolic reaction. Oogenesis is an example of an anabolic reaction. Photosynthesis as well. While kata means breakdown. Examples of catabolic reactions may include respiration. Glucose is being broken down in the presence or absence of oxygen in order to release the energy that our cells and tissues need to carry out their functions and in order for you and me to be alive. Okay, what does the double O mean? It means ovum or egg cell. So ovum or egg cell. That's the meaning of oo. So when we say oogenesis, we simply mean the formation of ovum. So ovum is one, ova is plural, meaning many. So egg cell, there, that's the meaning of oo. Then what's the meaning of pro? So pro has got many meanings. But in biology context, pro may mean, number one, undefined, or let me say not well defined. Not well defined. Pro in terms of enzymes may mean inactive. It may mean inactive. For example, the first definition, not well defined, the first meaning, we know that there are two main categories of cells on this planet: prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So cells that do not have a well-defined nucleus and are smaller in size and are usually found in what we call single-celled organisms or unicellular organisms, they are called prokaryotes, e.g. bacteria. It's an example of an organism with a prokaryotic cell. The nucleus is not well defined, meaning the DNA is not surrounded by a nuclear membrane. Instead, the DNA is suspended or floating in the cytoplasm. Okay. While pro can also mean inactive in terms of enzymes. For instance, we have what we call prothrombin. Prothrombin. This here is an enzyme. And this enzyme, when you include the word pro, it means it is inactive. So it needs activators. And we learned from enzymes that there are activators which might include vitamins. Those act as activators. Even acids can also act as activators, as well as mineral salts or ions. They can also act as activators. That's a topic for another day. But what we're trying to say is pro means inactive in terms of enzymes. So this enzyme here is inactive. It cannot catalyze the chemical reaction. That's what we mean. Finally, we have the word or the prefix osteo. Osteo means bone. Osteo means bone. And we know that bone is an example of a connective tissue. Bone is an example of a connective tissue. All right. Let's look at some of the suffixes we have on the board there. We have itis. Itis means inflammation of. Itis means inflammation of. Examples of disorders or conditions that have itis. An example is hepatitis, where hepa means the liver and itis means inflammation of. Inflammation of. So hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver. We also have bronchitis. Bronchitis. The bronchi is an air passageway which subdivides from your trachea. So the bronchi, so when we say bronchitis, we simply mean inflammation of the bronchi. Don't worry, we will understand those as time goes on. Well, we have synthesis there, which also means formation or manufacture. Formation or manufacture. That's the meaning of synthesis, or production as well. So synthesis also means production. All right. Now, what do the suffixes OLE and ELLE mean? They mean small or smaller. They mean small or smaller. An example of a word that has this at the end is, for example, the word organ. So organ, you're talking about something that's fairly large in size, medium or large. But the moment we include this L, it means little organ or small organ. And those parts of the cell are called organelles, little organs. That's what it actually means. Okay. What does the suffix mean? It means one or singular. Let me use singular. So is singular. So when we say flagellum, flagellum, flagellum there means one tail. But when we say flagella, so there means one tail, because flagell means a tail. For example, the cell that has flagellum is the sperm cell found in male reproductive organs in human beings and in other mammals, while flagella means many tails. Another example of an organism that has flagellum is bacteria. So some bacteria have flagellum to help them move from one point to another. So there means singular, while in that suffix may mean many or plural. Okay, so just like this one here, these are plural words. For example, it's wrong in biology to say bacteria. It's wrong. We say bacteria. So bacterium, bacterium. So bacterium means one bacteria, and bacteria means many. Bacteria means many. Many bacteria. That's what this means when it ends with "a" at the end. Okay, how about the "ata" there? In terms of plant cells, we have got openings through which gases enter and leave the plant, or leaves to be precise. We call those stoma. So stomata, many, stoma, one. So stoma, one, stomata, many. We don't say stomatas, no. We say stomata, meaning we're referring to many. So ata means many in that context. So stoma in this context means one. So don't let the R there confuse you. Okay, the last suffix we are going to look at for today is ULE, oof. For example, venue, vein from the word vein. So this means a smaller vein. It refers to a smaller vein. Okay, tubal, a smaller tube or little tube. So small or smaller as well. we have come to the end of our basic lesson. Please feel free to attempt those prefixes and suffixes. Do your research thoroughly. Thank you very much. See you in the next segment. Please don't forget to like, share, and click on the notification icon so that each time we upload our video, you are well informed. Thank you. Tell a friend to tell a friend.